And today is D-Day. I've arrived in Vegas. We didn't get to film much of the travel. I was a little bit ill on the flights, but that's part of life. I had a 6-hour layover in Amsterdam where my cousin came to pick me up, took me for lunch. It was very cool. Got to see a bit of a city, that at least parts of it that I hadn't seen before. Then the next flight, 11 hours here to Vegas, arrived at around 6 p.m. last night. Only got to the hotel around 9. Never really did anything actually, just came to the hotel, passed out, got a good night's rest in bits and pieces, but I feel like I've kind of got the time zone switched already, which is pretty good because I effectively woke up after the bits and pieces of sleeping at 8 a.m. this morning local time, which is not the worst. I'd like to get that out to about sleeping till like 9, 10 a.m. It's pretty good for poker, but it's a good start considering I've been here one day and there's a 9-hour time difference from South Africa. Right, so the World Series officially starts tomorrow with the Mystery Millions. Looking forward to that. For today, there's no point in wasting it. There is going to be at Wynn a $1,100 no limit hold'em tournament, $1 million guaranteed. There are 6 starting flights, I believe, for this tournament. 6. There were 2 yesterday. There are 2 today, and there will be 2 more tomorrow. I believe 166 entries so far. Yeah, look. Truth is, these tournaments at the Wynn never overlay. No matter how much anybody looks at them and goes, we're going to get an overlay. They never overlay. People just love playing here. People come. I've had some success at the Wynn previously. It's one of my favorite poker rooms to play in, if not my most favorite. The service is unbelievable. The place is top notch. The dealers are world class. Not much more that you could want. The biggest prize pools. So yeah, I think I am going to be able to film at the tables here today, which is going to be great. I'm going to go downstairs now and confirm that. But basically we're up and we're ready, and this is day 1. Let's go. First break of the day. Things are going pretty well. We have 60,000 chips from a 40,000 starting stack. Lost a few small pots in the end, which sent us backwards. We peaked at about 75,000 chips. Yep, let's keep going. Long way to go. In this session, we only played one really big hand, which we can do a hand breakdown of. Interested to know everyone's thoughts on this. So a new player sits down in the big blind. He's an Asian male. And just gives that vibe that he could be a little bit studied. I can see by the kind of the way he stacks his chips and stuff. Blinds are 200, 300, 300. I have 45,000. He has 40,000 starting stack. Folds to me on the button. I open to 800. The small blind folds. He stares at the clock for 45 seconds, which tells me for sure he's an online reg. Because recreational players just don't do this. He then makes it 2,400. I call with ace jack. Flop comes 7, 7, 8, 2 diamonds. He checks. Sorry. Flop comes 7, 7, 8, 2 diamonds. He bets 2,100. I call. The turn is another 7. Now he decides to check, which is quite an interesting line because generally most of his hands should continue betting on this turn. Anyway, I decide that I'm going to bet 3,500. I have some fancy ideas lined up for the river if he does call, depending on what the river is. Anyway, he calls, and the river is a jack. Now he bets 11,000 into 17,000. This is very interesting. While I don't think he has kings or queens very often, there's a small chance he decides to play aces this way. Anyway, I take about 5 seconds and decide to just call. I don't think there's any point in raising this hand. I'm not sure what worse hands can call me. But yeah, what do you guys think? And I will put the result of his hand in tomorrow's vlog. It's the second break of the day. This is the end of late reg. Yeah, few last minute buy-ins, but effectively there were 185 players in this flight. We'll play till 12.5%, which is 5 plus 5, around 23 players. We'll bag up and make the money, which will be for day 2, which will only be in 2 days. It won't be today or tomorrow for that matter. We have around 65,000, which is just about good for average. Blinds will be 1,000, 1,500 coming back. Let's go. Third break of the day, we have one hand to report. Off the last break, we had like 60,000. We blinded down to 53,000 before we got to play a hand. Where the cutoff, it folded to the cutoff, he opened to 6,000. Button folded, small blind folded, in the big blind we had pocket 4s. 4 of diamonds, 4 of spades. We moved it all in for our 18 odd big blinds. 17. He eventually called, he had ace 10 of spades. Flop queen of hearts, jack of diamonds, 4 of hearts. See the 4, we get excited. Then realize he still has outs. The turn 9 of hearts gave him some more outs. But the river 10 of clubs was good enough for us to secure a double. And from there we just kicked forwards. Now we are 49 left, playing down till 23. And we have 376,000, more than double average. Average on day 2 is 340,000. So if we can just maintain and go up a little bit from here, we'll have a pretty good stack going into day 2. And this is a great start for our trip to Vegas 2026. Hopefully we can keep it up. Work's not done yet for the day. So that changed quickly. We had 400,000 chips with 27 people left. Our table broke, we got moved straight into the big blind. 23 people make day 2. Blinds are now 4,000, 8,000. The new table I get moved to has a lot of big stacks. Goes open in middle position to 16,000. Call next to him. The button calls, gets to me in the big blind. I have 5, 6 of diamonds are complete. The flop comes down 10 of diamonds, 6 of clubs, 4 of diamonds. Pretty good flop for us. I'm first to speak and I decide I'm going to take the aggressive route in this hand. So I lead the flop for half pot of 36,000. The original opener moans for a bit and then folds. The first caller calls and the button folds. Now there's 144,000 in the middle and the turn is the jack of diamonds completing our flush. I decide that on this turn I'm going to size up, trying to get to a point where I can get my whole stack in by the river. I decide to size up on this turn, hoping to create a stack to pot ratio where I can basically get all my chips in the middle. This is one of the strongest hands I'm going to have in this spot. So on the turn I bet 75,000. My opponent messes around for a bit and then calls. By this stage of the tournament they've already introduced time banks, so he's not taking too much time in each decision, but he has taken a little bit of time. The river comes an offsuit 8 and I go for all of it. I move all in for my balance, 200 odd thousand. And obviously he beats me in the pot. He has a 7 of diamonds and he turned the nut flush. This is pretty unfortunate, but it's part of tournament poker, I guess. We played the whole day, got right to the end. Literally probably needs to last another 15 minutes. We would have been in the money in day 2. I don't play tournaments for min cashes. I want to get all the chips, I want to win. I think this hand is fine. Some might say maybe not so fine. Bearing in mind the ICM implications, look, that's just not the way I play. That's it. I'm sure you can see by my eyes I'm pretty tired. This jet lag kind of caught up with me. It's now 9 PM here. I will be heading to bed shortly and hopefully be fresh tomorrow for our first WSOP event, which the more I look at it, the more it looks like it's going to be the 5k 8 max. It's a pretty big event, our second biggest of our whole schedule, so I'd like to be fresh tomorrow and ready to go. And yeah, make sure you enter the competition if you want to get that 1%. Could be a pretty big prize when we win the 5k 8 max. See you tomorrow. Andiamo.